I'm just singing along with. I just now realized that my music wasn't playing for some reason. Why are my buttons not working? Anyways, way to go for me, just to break the entire magic of the stream opening. Oh well. Oh, that's why. I don't actually have the stream deck open. You always forget one thing. Sometimes it's to make sure that your alerts are working. Other times, make sure that the actual proper frickin' sources are on. Other times, you forget to turn on your entire background stuff. Yeah. Well, there it is. Yep. Alright. Game's on. My mic's on. So, Gura, Mume, you haven't been around here for this. You're gonna have a fun time with this, I'm sure. Just as a complete aside.
Yeah, this show is good for what ails me.
Yeah? Well, what ails you?
Insomnia.
Just as a complete aside, exactly how crazy would you go, memes, if I could dig up any of these Hololive girls playing Wani, or Snoot for that matter? As I would almost guarantee you somebody suggested at least one or the other, but I'm unsure if anybody's ever played them. And if so, I wonder who would. Not a fan of VTubers, so not very. More concerned for the fan base than excited. True. With the graduation of both Mume and Gura, particularly Gura. Yeah. But at least ways some rumblings that I've been seeing happen among VTubing has at least ways reason to not give up. But that's entirely beside the point. And like you said, you don't really care much about VTubers, so I will drop it there. Alright. Besides, we're actually here for a different matter, and that involves Alligator Girl. Now I just need to find... Alligator Girl VTuber. Oh, come on, I don't need that. Okay, enough of that. Alright. I Wani hug that Gator. Last time... The devil herself. Property damage. The storm of the century! Followed by more property damage. And hot drinks ready to go. You can't not have like a warm drink when you're going to be doing a whole lot of real shit voice acting, don't you think? But alright. With that, and without any more further ado... Alright, we ended after a eventful Space Needle pseudo-double date, which didn't really turn into a double date at all. We ended up third-wheeling the Brachio girl. Yay. Alright. Alright. Now, memes, I know the joke is that we're like 1/5 of the way through, but in all seriousness, how far? How much further? Because I'm genuinely getting curious and or impatient, because this is like episode 6. We can't exactly keep going with this 1/5 joke all the time. We'll get there when we get there. Alright, fine. Fine. Alright, so incognito, how shall we do you dirty today? After going home that night, Olivia texted me all night and well into the morning. We ended up talking about all sorts of things. Mia, our art, various shows, just about everything. Never seen her that excited before. For someone with sore hands, she sure types fast. You'd think that, right? And for someone that doesn't much like talking at all, she sure types a lot. There's a difference between speech and text. I'm sure plenty of people understand that. I certainly can't keep up. Get good, scrub. And when she didn't want to talk, she sent more doodles and sketches. Sleep wasn't really an option on my end either. And Guts' doodle ventures were quite entertaining to read. Since then, we've been texting more every night. Not as much, since I do need my sleep. But right now, I'm just waiting for art class to end. Mr. Triggums is apparently one of those substitutes that demands complete silence until class is over, but doesn't care beyond that. Excuse me? $5 says that Iataka either left or got fired. So even though I'm sitting about 2 wee feet away from Olivia, we're having to text each other. She's quite the storyteller with these doodles. Like right now, as I try to keep up with the tale of Guts riding a... What's he riding again? Let's break his flashing stick thingy, lol, and his picks will be super dark, or locking them in the bathroom. But just remember, I need another pick. You try shoving him into the wedding cake and taking a pick and smashing the floor. Need it for a muse, that. Muse, that. Do it for me. They didn't even bother to write about a half dozen texts about your thing. You had to go back to when he was... You had to reuse the thing for when they were at the wedding that he was doing the pictures for. Anyway, what's he writing again? He's piloting the main golem from Gundam Finn. Giant robot from one of the shows she's been wanting us to watch together. I mean, we would. I totally want to. Just Olivia and I, sitting side by side on my couch. Maybe as we're getting tired and start leaning against each other. I could even offer to keep her warm. Whoops. Catching my phone on the precipice of my desk, I see that Olivia has sent an even more detailed version of the previous Guts drawing. And this is why, for how dumb it is, Finn is still fun to watch. I have ever enjoyed Gundam, and I do like the dumber ones, like G Gundam and the like, but yeah. I don't get it. Same here. You almost didn't get your phone just now. If you'd watch it, you would. Sure. I'm understanding more about your... I knew your entire reason for doing this, but now I'm understanding it better for why you send me these pictures, memes. One day, maybe. Though only if it's with her. One day, yes. Ah, crap, teacher. Don't want to lose my phone. Okay. Yeah. After... I do not find the dumb Japan shows that fun. I mean, it all depends on what you necessarily like. I mean, stuff like Gundam gets far more deep and political, whereas I much more enjoy a good haha. Even though as I get drawn into just about every stupid isekai imaginable. You know what actually I just finished? The Red Ranger is an adventurer in another world. It is just as absurd as you think it sounds when you have like the Red Power Ranger. You're thrown into a fantasy world. It really is kind of dumb. I watched it. I watched it. Not even that big into Sentai. Although, I say this again, Love After World Domination was fun too. Imagine if you would. Different Red Ranger, mind you. But the Red Ranger falls in love with one of Rita Repulsa's female minions, were there any. It was actually kind of cute. After a couple of minutes without any alerts, I accept that the Gator girl really is done for now. With a quick look at the clock on the wall, I figure I've got a few more minutes before I absolutely must hide my own phone. Yatakan's been out for about a week and a half, so we've been stuck with Mr. Triggums. We're gonna get a picture of him? Apparently, he doesn't like electives. I swipe back, looking through the pieces she'd sent me over the last couple hours. A lot of the references go over my head, but the few that don't earn a hearty chuckle from me. Then there's the more detailed ones, the drawings that'd be good enough to actually render. I smile as I save those. I'd been meaning to ask if she'd finished one, back when she started doing this. Probably not. The point of those doodles are as much to get things on paper as anything else. But I never got around to it, simply saving it in a folder. A folder that's grown to a couple dozen now. Would Jerome Clarkson please come to the office? Would Jerome Clarkson please come to the office? Thank you. The announcement nearly makes me drop my phone again. I've been going on all morning, just calling random students to the office. A buzz from my phone has me check it again to see another message from the Gator girl. Never mind. Teach is acting weird today. Weird? I look at our substitute. Mr. Triggums isn't paying any attention to us. In fact, he's just kinda looking through the desk he's sat at. Weird. Same here. Think it has to do with the office thing? I don't know. Was thinking it was the short day, maybe. That was another thing. I think the entire class realized something was up with how fast class periods were going today. Oh, really? Ding dong! Ah, man. Third time's a charm, you finally dropped it. I look at the phone on the floor, the corner of the screen chipped away. Picking it back up before any of my classmates can step on it and on their way to lunch. I also just noticed that Ben wasn't in class either. Oh, that's fun. Hurry up, short day means lunch is earlier. Alright. Headed to lunch, I realize I'm not that hungry. Strange, but I guess it's an internal clock thing. I'm just so used to eating at the same time every day. Looks like I'm not the only one, as the usual war zone in the cafeteria has expanded to spill into the surrounding hallways. And I'm noticing the snow outside. That seems interesting. It has been a while. Ooh, that still needs to cool a little bit. It's loud enough to even cover it up for continued announcements. Thank you. Mostly. I've gotten pretty good at weaving through the chaos relatively unscathed, but man, these guys have way too much energy. What are they even fighting about? But as always, the table in the back is left alone. Damien is chattering loudly about his day so far to Olivia, who's occasionally poking Liz across the table with a toy claw hand. Oh, Christ, I love these things. Liz flails her arms around to shoo away the offending poke, but never bothers to crane her neck down from the rafters. What even besides the vines and plants up there? She perks up when she sees me. Yo, it's Inko! Hey, what's going on at Olive Garden today? Whack his noggin! Fuck! The meter stick falls on my head. Gah! It's just a joke, a quip! How long did it take you to come up with that one? It was about 2 in the morning last night. Whack him again. Hey! Best $10 I've ever spent. It looks a little familiar, doesn't it? Yeah, that's what I thought when I saw it. Just like the real one, she'll bully you for saying dumb stuff. Oh, this could not possibly end poorly. I mean, Mia's probably long since been expelled for doing all the damage. At least was a scapegoat. Though who knows, with the announcements, they're probably seeking for some answers. Bite me! Snap, snap. She makes the head gnaw on my face a little. That's amazing. I'll go sit somewhere else. Do it. I got a new friend right here. Oh wow, I have an actual friend that isn't addicted to makeup pheromones. That makes me so happy. Your ventriloquism needs a bit of work. I still think it's a little weird. Oh, live a little. Say, aren't you guys eating either? It's too early. I'll just eat when I get home. Lunch ladies don't really try on half days. Don't they not try normally? The difference makes itself known. I was out for like a week. I'm just gonna steal some of whatever Olivia makes later. Get your own. I've changed my mind. She has too much power. This is great. It really is fun. Wait. Olivia reaches over to gnaw on Damien again, and I snatch it out of the air. Huh? Oh. I aim to hitch it right onto Olivia's snout. Bullseye! It's clamped shut. The evil is defeated! While I'm giggling like a schoolgirl, Olivia used the chance to grab the hand back. Fine, no more claw today. She hastily stuffs the plastic toy in her backpack. After some more small talk, Damien's attention wanders towards Liz, who seems to be lost in thought, and the rafters. Hey Liz, what's in your head? Yeah. Huh? Oh, I was just thinking about earlier today. I was talking to Principal Scaler this morning while running some errands for Stuco, and she was really out of it. Out of it? Yeah, like she didn't want to be here today. I tried to pry, but she clammed up. I've never seen her like that before. She must have drank bad coffee or something. It is true, I kind of had her originally pegged as not being the Simpsons reference, but being Captain Janeway from Star Trek. But, you know. I don't think that makes people sad. I can tell you from experience, it just makes you really have to... It looks like I got a text. Looks like I got a text, huh? Nope. Nothing. Liz pulls out her phone, craning her head down to get a better look at the screen. It's from Ben. Come having a student council meeting. Huh. Normally it's a bit more formal than that. I guess it's a half day and all. Oh well, duty calls. Sorry for having to leave early, guys. No worries, Liz. We can meet up after school. Sounds good. I'll see you all later then. No, you won't, because there's going to be a major eruption of things happening in a minute, I'm sure. What do you guys want to do after school? I don't know. Maybe we could hang out at my place. Too cold to get in the pool, but I'm sure we can think of something. No kidding. There's frost in the windows, snow on the trees and ground. Like, dude, what do y'all... Y'all think that... Y'all think Southern y'all have that Southern California 60s is cold sweater weather. Like, if not full winter get-up gear. Here, I can't imagine y'all doing like a polar bear swim. I look over to Olivia, who doesn't seem to... Counterpoint? Snow makes everything better. I'm not against the idea of snow, sure. It's certainly thematic, and it's pretty to look at. But geez, I'll be honest with you. I've got ice in my bones. I really prefer like it when the warmer months come around better, I'm not gonna lie. I look over to Olivia, who doesn't seem to have any objections to the idea, but no input of her own. Got any ideas, Liv? We could doodle some stuff. Like charades? Yeah, make it into a game of sorts. Have y'all never heard of Pictionary? That sounds pretty fun, actually. Then I can really wipe the floor with Olivia. Oh, save your breath, Nito. You know my stuff will own you and your chicken scratch. Wanna bet? Ha! That's a sucker's bet! Alright then, loser has to pay for food. Deal! We shake hands, making the wager official. Would Olivia Holford please come to the office? Would Olivia Holford please come to the office? Thank you. Uh-oh. The monotone voice of the intercom, combined with the strange atmosphere of the school, is starting to unnerve me. We all look at the Gator girl, who rolls her eyes and starts wheeling away from the table and towards the exit. This is not good. After she'd left, everything felt more off. Lunch came to an end and the school day was close to the same. Just a couple more periods before we can hang out somewhere with all the extra free time. I look at Olivia's desk, still empty 5 minutes into Prockling's class. I mean, yeah, she hates this class the most, but it's really become a habit at this point. Just like how it's become a habit for me to write an extra set of notes for Olivia. I look at the two mostly blank pages in front of me. Like with our other teachers, I notice something's off with Prockling. Ooh, set Prockling off. Let's see exactly what sort of intercontinental ballistic dodgeball Solly sends out. She barely says anything, instead just asking us to read the chapter on the Great War. Usually, when something like this happens... Holy fuck, exactly what kind of hardened criminal was Iadakan? I do just as asked, and 5 pages in, I can say without a shadow of a doubt that it was the stupidest reason for a world war to break out. It was certainly started as a stupid reason, but I will tell you this for certain: when you have a entire continent held together politically on 150-year-old treaties, as well as spit and duct tape, things can escalate fast, especially in a time period when mobilization first usually meant you had a very decent advantage at the beginning of a war. And yes, I am talking about World War I. A bunch of European countries, unhappy with being ruled by a bunch of other European empires, deciding to revolt and dragging all their allies into the quagmire. It's far more complicated than that, but I'm not going to deny that's part of it. I'm really struggling to make sense of the information, made worse with how outdated the textbooks are. Seriously, they're written so bad it ought to be a crime. It oozes pro-Gilded Age corporatism, the kind that genuinely believed that anything bigger than a gathering of 10 people was a form of unionism. I'm not against the Gilded Age myself, personally. With a sigh, I busy myself with taking notes for myself and Olivia. As I do, my eyes continue to wander the classroom. Everyone looks just as disinterested in the subject matter. I look over to Prockling, and she herself doesn't seem interested in the subject matter as well. In fact, she's just kind of staring off into space. It's highly unusual, considering how much emphasis she puts on proper class focus. Yet there she is, spacing out like she's no better than the teenagers she teaches on the daily. I'm almost tempted to raise my hand to ask her a question to snap her back to reality when the room's speaker comes to life. Would Incognito please report to the office? Incognito, please report to the office. Thank you. I look up to Miss Prockling. I got called, but she's still the arbiter of who leaves her class and when. But she doesn't meet my eyes at all. If anything, it looks like she's actively trying to avoid eye contact. I pack my things and shuffle out of the classroom. All the while, the stares and murmurs from the other students grow ever more intense. My mind immediately begins to wander. Why am I being summoned to the office? They sure are calling up a lot of people. Maybe it's related to 2 weeks ago? The only thing keeping me company on my march to the principal's office is the sound of rubber soles on tile. I must spend a fortune on polishing these floors. It's not long before I notice another pair of footsteps coming from somewhere ahead of me. I squint my eyes, quickly recognizing the figure that approaches. It's Ben. I guess the student council wrapped up their meeting, though there's no sign of Liz anywhere. As the Parasaur makes his way closer, I notice he has a complicated expression on his face. Hey, Ben, what's going on? He flinches as I call his name, and looks around like a lost child before he spots me. We make eye contact for a few seconds, but he doesn't say anything. Everything all right, dude? Suddenly he turns away and continues down the hall. A sinking feeling takes hold of my chest. I almost try to speak up and stop him, but I can't think of anything to say. I guess I better get going. Meow. Another minute of walking, I reach the door of the principal's office and find it wide open. Come in. I step into the office and close the door behind me, following the source of the deep voice. I realize now I've never seen the interior of the office before. It's a fairly standard office. A long wooden desk, a filing cabinet, a few potted plants, and a couple of shelves for storing all sorts of things. However, on closer inspection, I notice things look a little more disheveled than I expected. Manila folders are strewn across the desk. One of the filing cabinet drawers hangs open. The potted plants are either overwatered or wilting. Aha! Is this really Scalar's office? Mr. Nito. My attention is suddenly pulled away towards the hulking figure sitting behind the desk that looks strange being superimposed in front of it. I can only imagine what that office chair is going through right now. Sir, is everything all right? Have a seat, please. He motions to a small plastic chair on my side of the desk. How have you been, Inko? Oh, good. He's serious mode. I oblige his request, taking a seat and trying to suppress my anxiety. I think I'm doing well. He nods to himself, holding his eyes closed. That's good to hear. The whale looks down at an open folder on his desk, taking a moment to look over some kind of document. I have news for you regarding your instructor for AP Art Design and Photography. You mean Mr. Iatakan? Yes, Mr. Iatakan. A fine teacher, if student surveys are anything to go by. He also spoke quite highly of you. Did you have a strong relationship with him? Yeah, I think so. Did something happen? My heart drops as Ferris's brow lowers ever so slightly. Memes! Why do you give me these dark things? Suddenly his tone completely shifts into one more clinical. Over the last 2 years, Mr. Iatakan has been suffering from a rare form of chondrosarcoma that originated in his vertebrae. His tone is heavy. I don't quite know what ailment he just named, like he should spit on the doctors responsible for discovering it, but the practiced movements and worn-out features are undeniable. He's by no means a fragile man, but the tiredness he tries to hide is barely concealed. Every student he's broken the news to has taken something more from him. Tensing himself slightly to be as tactful as he can, the attempted reverence is lost as he recited scripted lines just a few too many times already. He can't muster much more than this flat citation. This analysis means nothing. I'm just distracting myself from the reality of the situation, as though prolonging a confirmation will keep it from happening. He's either dead or dying, from some variety of vertebrae cancer. Mr. Ferris notices my subtle confusion and clarifies like he must have done a few dozen times already. Bone cancer. Ah, yeah, there we go. Mr. Iatakan was well advised by medical professionals about the treatment options available to him, and the district offered him a generous medical leave in recognition of his tenure here at St. Hammond. He turned both of these down. The cacophony of thoughts swirling in my head makes it nearly impossible to think, impossible to focus on anything. Right now, all I can do is revel in it. Revel? That's a weird choice of word for this. Time passes. I'm not sure how much, but I still can't get a grip on my own mind. Ferris is calmly waiting for me to say something, but I can tell he's becoming uncomfortable. There's only one thing that I can muster the will to ask. Why? The whale grimaces. I wish I had an answer. His inflection tells of his own questioning thoughts. The exchange seems to give Ferris the energy to continue, however. On Sunday, Mr. Iatakan was hospitalized due to implications with his illness. He passed away the following morning. Oh no, well... Olivia was called here before me. Counseling will be available for you and anybody else affected. Sorry, do you know where Olivia went? No, she didn't say. I'd like to go now, Mr. Ferris. Yes, feel free. I stand up from the plastic chair, pushing it closer to the principal's desk. Offering one last nod to the superintendent, I let myself out of the office. As soon as the door clicks shut, I start running. Oh shit, where would she go? The studio room, maybe? It's the best lead I have. Thanks to all these gym classes, I'll have no trouble getting there quickly. My new destination takes me up the main staircase of the school and onto the second floor. It's not long before I'm staring down the hallway of Yatakan's classroom. I breathe a sigh of relief as I spot Olivia sat in front of the door. God, what do I even say to her? My thoughts come crashing to a halt. Halt, excuse me. As I see another dinosaur beside her, gesturing maniacally. Ben. Ben? From an outsider's view, it looks like Ben is trying to talk her into something. But there's such a stark contrast between their moods. I suppose Ben is mourning too, but maybe he's just handling it differently? That's the plan I have in mind. What do you think of it? Olivia? Yeah, okay. Olivia's reply came off weak and unfocused, like she wasn't talking to Ben at all. Can I count on you to be a part of it? Sure. I remain obscured from view. This doesn't seem like a conversation I should intrude on. Nope. I'll just catch up to Olivia later. Honestly, I'm somewhat surprised Ben is talking to her. No, maybe it's that Olivia is listening to Ben. Though those differences are being put aside. For once, our priorities aligned. I had thought to come find Olivia too. I wonder. Yatakan was a mentor to each of us. Like, he would always be around to help us. But now, all the little things that make you anxious or aggravated are gone in an instant. And all that's left is reality. Why bother with this dramatic garbage? If now's not the time to be brought together, then when? I'm thinking too much. My hands are shivering. Something in my heart threatens to fall apart, but not now. Her voice was too quiet for me to hear, but whatever she said wasn't what Ben wanted to hear. Olivia, I need to know that you're with me on this. Yeah. Olivia. Ben kneels right next to Olivia's chair, putting the two at eye level, though she keeps her eyes averted to the side. I need to know that you're in on this fully. There's a strange panic in the Parasaur's voice. What? Okay. Drink. Please, Olivia, for him. Finally, after what felt like a few minutes, despite it only being 4 or 5 seconds, Olivia looks back at Ben's face and gives him a meek nod. I'm going to take that as a yes, then. The Gator girl gives no other reply to Ben's words. The only sign that his words had registered in her mind were his hands suddenly, yet gently, shaking, all the while her claws dug ever deeper into her wheelchair's armrests. Her bulwark broke at last. Seeing the droplets from her eyes drives a searing pain through my chest. My instincts drove me forward, beyond my common sense. I grip the blue boy's shoulder and pull him up. Ben? The Parasaur's eyes snap up towards me. He makes eye contact with me, a depressive expression coating his face. Inko, what are you doing here? I wanted to see Olivia. Olivia's silver eyes finally lift, and the pain reflected in them threatens to shatter my aching heart. Ben looks back to see those mournful eyes too, though his reaction seems the opposite to mine as a smile draws across his face. Inko, hear me out. I'm trying to organize a eulogy for Yatakan. You know, say our goodbyes to him. He deserves it. He deserves it, at least. Olivia, me, and you. He helped each of us so much, and... While the Parasaur rambles on, I turn my attention solely to Olivia. Huh? I push past Ben and take a knee next to Olivia, now eye level with her. Ben finally stops talking. I can feel his stare boring into the back of my head. He wants an answer for whatever he was just talking about. A eulogy for Mr. Iatakan. It's so surreal to think about that. To think that I spoke to him only yesterday, and today he's just gone. You said it was a week and a half. I'll figure that. A eulogy. Yeah, it's the least we could do for Iatakan and his pupils. He deserves so much more, though. So much. Right, yeah. Olivia's probably feeling what I'm feeling right now. This fight between reality and emotions. Iatakan's gone, and I'm still trying to process it. Trying to accept the fact that I'll never see him again, or listen to him again, or get advice from him again. Never get to impress him, or show him how much I've improved because of his lessons. I don't think I'm ready to accept that he's gone. Ben clears his throat, snapping me from my stupor and back to our current reality. I'm sorry to be so pushy, but I need to know if you and Olivia are in or not. Ben turns to look at Olivia as he says those words. Olivia, meanwhile, continues to stare absent-mindedly at the wall, almost as if Ben's words were not emanating from right next to her, but a few dozen miles away instead. Ben, I don't think... I suddenly feel a cold, scaled hand fall on top of my own. I turn to look at Olivia's pain-stricken eyes. They gaze deeply into mine, pleading, begging to make the pain vanish. I don't quite know what I should do. This situation in particular, I've never necessarily had lost yet, anyway, and I'm thankful for this, any highly influential teacher. As part of that is being homeschooled. My teacher was largely my mom, and she's still alive, thank Christ. And will be for a very long time yet, I hope. I hope so too. But I understand these thoughts entirely. I really don't want to think about it, but think about it, that was this long ago, but about... Yeah, it would have been 10 years ago now. Yeah, it would have been like something like 10 years ago. My maternal grandparents, my mom's mom and dad, had came to live with us, like because frankly, it was time. I know this exact feeling. I very deeply looked up to both of them. They owned a lovely farm stand in central New York. And when I say farm stand, I don't mean like a little lean-to on the side of the road out of which like some random corn or tomatoes or no, I'm talking like a full-blown private farmer's market with a farm attached. But it was more than that. It was a community venue. It was an event space. It was a place where things actually happened other than just mere agricultural commerce. There was a gift shop, a cafe, a bakery, and just so many, annual events that happened. Christmas things, Halloween. My one cousin that lived up the mountain behind the farm actually would build these amazing hay bale sculptures of of these of various characters. One year it was Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. Another year he built a full-blown Buzz Lightyear. In springtime, like, they had a down by the river. There was a massive, long field of strawberries. Some of the best strawberries you've ever had. And every springtime, when those spring and summertime, when those strawberries came in ripe, they would always do a 40-foot long strawberry shortcake. Some of the, honestly, like, amazing. Fresh biscuits, whipped cream, and the freshest strawberries you could hope for. It was this place that was them and this place that they had that really encouraged me, as much as me being obsessed with Food Network at the time, to go into culinary arts and restaurant management. Even though ultimately after they retired, there wasn't any equity in the farm anymore, and we sold it at auction in 2002. I think I was 12 then. And I never really had the opportunity to actually work there. And I wanted to. Lord knows I wanted to. I know this feeling. Because when my grandparents were here before they died, specifically before my grandmother died, I was still working at the college at the time. Or at least it was actually shortly thereafter that I got fired for trusting the wrong guy. But ultimately, there's nothing I would want more than one day to take what I've learned and just work for my grandmother at that location. It's never gonna happen. The night she died, I was actually working at a new job I had started recently. I'd left. I'd said goodbye to her. Goodbye, good night. About an hour later, I get a phone call. Grandma died. I came home. I still saw the ambulance there. Went back out, got myself a big old pizza, came back, ate the whole damn thing playing Civilization 5 with friends. I know this feeling. Like I said, it was about 10 years ago and it's still frickin' raw. Your maternal grandfather, Papa, who you thought of here. How he taught me his favorite way of eating oranges, cutting a hole in the top and squeezing the juice out. No, it's good to know that there at least ways are those memories, right? That even though they're gone, they left something with you. You're never ready to say goodbye. No one ever is. I know I certainly wasn't asked this. What? So not certainly about it, but I wasn't asked to say anything at either of their funerals when they, either my grandmother's when she died or my grandfather's when he eventually passed about a year and a half later. I'm not sure if I regret not saying something, but I'm also not sure I could have at the time. No one's ever ready to say goodbye. But we need to eventually. And honestly, it's frankly better to do so together with people around you feeling the same thing that you are, regardless of like whether or not you had the same sort of relationship with the Atakan that Olivia had. It's like we've like Inko knew him for like what, 3 months? It would frankly be just better. It's better to not do what I did. And I don't necessarily mean the pizza and civilization. I needed to do that at the time. But it's better to not just shut down. It's better to not deny it. It's better to acknowledge what is, what was, and what must be. And better to do so together. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna make another cup of drink. That got real heavy in the first hour. You made Chun cry! Hooray! Dude, I might be a jackass and an idiot and a clown at best. But I'm also fairly emotional and sentimental, downright romantic in a lot of cases. I will talk your ear off about my grandparents and about this farm to the fullest extent. It's really not hard to make me cry. But yeah. You did give a game where it actually did, and so yeah. Take that as the victory lap, but you may want to think about it. And yet, I did it through a Gator dating game. I mean, true. True. I mean, it's not like you were going to end up getting me to cry through playing something like, I don't know, Elden Ring. But at the same time, even though Elden Ring being a dark gothic pseudo-horror game, you don't exactly feel the exact same themes of loss and pain as like through this kind of thing more specifically. So, much like I still need more hot drink, Olivia needs us now, more than ever. I think Ben has the right idea. It's what Iatakan would want. Watch, this was the actual wrong choice that I logicked myself into. These are scary times, so it makes sense to be afraid, to be hurt. Don't worry, Olivia. Place my other hand on Olivia's reassuringly. I'm here with you. We all are. Ben is extending the olive branch here, right? You just need to accept it. Ben gives a tense, shaky, but approving nod. I'm glad you guys are seeing the situation for what it is, and just how important it is that we make this eulogy something beautiful. Olivia glances around hazily, her voice broken. I don't want him to be gone, Inko. There's too much that I didn't... I know, but we need to face reality. And we can do it together. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to face anything at all. It's okay, Olivia. I know, I was close to Iadakan, but you clearly meant so much more to him, and him to you. He was the only teacher that seemed to really care, right? She nods. So you're the most hurt, the most afraid. Afraid? And we're here to support you. You just need to help us help you. If you're not ready to face reality, we can help you think straight. To face it together. Can you do that? Her eyes rove over both Ben and I, and then back to our interlocked fingers. I take hold of her other hand. She blushes and looks me dead in the eyes. Can you help us? Okay. I'll think about it. I'm still afraid, but if you're there, I'm here. Ben clears his throat. That was, very inspiring of you, Inko. His hands aren't tensed up. He's calmed down a bit. He opens his mouth to continue, but I hold up a hand to stop him. Olivia's had enough for one day. Ben, could we get some alone time together? Oh, of course. I'll give you guys a bit of time to process all this. Ben walks up to me and pats me on the shoulder. With a final solemn look at Olivia and nod toward me, he walks out of the classroom and leaves Olivia and I alone. As the door clicks behind me, I hear Olivia take a sharp and shuddery breath before turning to look at me. Her eyes are glossy and puffy on the edges. Trails of tears stain down her cheeks, and her expression is one of someone who doesn't want to believe that it's true, but knows deep down that it is. As I look at her, I feel my emotions come back twice as hard. No, I need to be strong for her sake, damn it. Yes, but also then again, no. You can't, I'm fairly certain that by now the two of you can crack with one another. But the sentiment is definitely appreciated. On both sides, frankly. I think I hit the ratio on that drink just right. Olivia, I try to find the proper words to say something to her. Anything that could give her any sense of comfort to ease her pain. But I feel my throat begin to tighten like someone's hand is around my neck. I don't even notice that I'm crying until my vision becomes blurred with tears. There it is. Without thinking, I wrap my arms around the baryonyx and pull her into a hug. Olivia seems shocked at first, frozen by my sudden reaction. But then I feel a pair of arms wrap around me and hands clutching my jacket. Olivia begins to sob softly in my shoulder. I feel my own resolve break down as I hear the increasing pain in her cries. When we're like this, I can't even pretend to be the stronger one anymore. Maybe I could bear the pain of Iadakan, but seeing Olivia like this... I hold on tighter. I don't want to let her go. Suddenly, she mumbles something into my shoulder. What was that? We pull apart, and I look over Olivia. Her sunken face is covered in splotches and trails of wet and dry tears. She's hyperventilating and looks like an absolute mess right now. Despite this, her eyes are fierce and lively as they meet mine. I need to do something. Right now? She doesn't respond, hurriedly rolling down the hall towards the elevator. Where would she... The fountain. The only place she could be going. I step forward to follow her, but stop. No matter how hard I try, I can't continue. This is Olivia's promise, not mine. I have no right to intrude into it like that. Although, here's something that you probably could do. As much as there's no substitute for the real thing, if you're that good of a photographer, and if it's that snowy outside, take thousands of reference photos of that fountain for her. If she can't be out in the coldest, because, you know, dinos, cold blood and all that, do that. My hesitancy robbed me of any choice in the matter. She went alone. I'm a fucking idiot. Alone? In this freezing weather? While she's going through this? What the hell was I thinking? I start my silent march through the halls, out the building, and into the frozen wilderness. It's cold out, freshly starting to snow. If that window was anything to go by, it's been snowing for 2 days. The world just feels so much smaller, muted, and colorless. Now's not the time. I must find Olivia. There's thin tire tracks and the thinly laid on snow, pathing out down the sidewalk. I follow them. The path is serene. The falling flecks of white make it feel like one of Olivia's landscapes. The fountain must be just around the corner. Oh God. I should have gone with her. Of course, the fountain is only accessible with stairs. The steps are tall and coated in a thin layer of ice. It's a death trap. Something rolls down and bumps my shoe. It's one of Olivia's handles. My face flashes with heat and my blood runs cold. Oh my God, I can't lose 2 people in 1 day. Please! I will myself to look up. 8 steps up, Olivia's wheelchair is toppled over on its back. Seat ripped, wheels spread. It's unrecoverable. Olivia's is 2 steps further, halfway onto the next ledge. Her arm reaches up for the next one. How the fuck? Olivia! Olivia stops and slowly looks back. It's a look of shock and humiliation at being seen like this. She turns back and starts pulling herself up to the next step. Ah, damn it, Olivia! I take a step up and catch myself. It's a wonder she even got this far. How did she even get up 8 steps before... And moreover, how did the wheel... whatever, I'll worry about the questions later, because did she start at the bottom? Did she start at the top? We'll figure this out. But I find my balance and start marching up towards her. Her arms slip on the ledge and she falls back. Whoop! I caught her in my arms from behind. I didn't make it. She looks up at me, eyes still filled with tears. I carefully set her down on one of the steps. She hides her face in her palms. I failed Iatacan. Olivia chokes back a sob. I'm just a stupid fuck-up. Fucking chair. And then continues to weep. I sit there and stare for a moment, trying to figure out what to do. Call a cab. Get Dino Mr. the Monarch and whatever. I really haven't ever been in a situation like this. The poor girl is shaking. Rather, it's from the cold or her situation, I don't know. It should be weather, not rather, but anyway. Instinctively, I wrap my arm around her and pull her close to me. Olivia shifts her body accordingly, and we end up in an embrace. Her sobbing calms down to just occasional hiccups, and her body is no longer sapping the heat from me either. I'm sorry, Hinko. Sorry for what? Everything. Being an asshole, being a failure, making you waste your time on me. Just awful. Don't say that. I love you. That's what I wanted to say. Now isn't the time. I'm your friend, you know that. I'm here for you in the same way you're here for me. Olivia breaks away from our hug. Her face is tear-stained, but she isn't crying anymore. She's looking down at her wheelchair. Do you have a spare at home? No. I stand up, look to the stairs, towards the fountain, then back to Olivia. I can call Liz if you want. She can come pick us up after we're done. We can worry about your chair then. You're not a failure, Olivia. We're getting you to that fountain. Get a 50-pound bag of salt first, dude. Damn it. Like, I know y'all are from California. But none of y'all can possibly not understand the necessity for ice melt. And no, I'm not talking about isomalt. It's an entirely different thing. That's a sugar frosting. I reach my hand down towards her. Missing punctuation. Olivia's confusion erodes into a soft smile as she stares at my hand and then back to me. Come lower. Let me grab your shoulder. I've done this a few times before. I lean in closer, and Olivia pivots as best she can. Once more, she uses her tail as an anchor in place of her legs. It's holding her up pretty well. Never considered it, but that tail must be pretty muscular. She's an alligator. Have you ever been slapped in the nuts by an alligator tail? Me neither, and I don't want to. Let's go. I want to make Yatakan proud. I climb up to the next step, planting my foot in solid ground. Olivia waits for me to stop before quickly moving her tail up to the next step as well. It's sort of like we're each one leg. Simple enough. It only now occurs to me how close we are right now. By close, I mean I'm practically cradling Olivia against my side. Up another step. Eventually, we make it to the top. I manage to shuffle to the fountain. You can just put me down right here. All right. I gently lower Olivia down and place her on the lip of the fountain. There's just enough space for her to sit along the edge, with one leg resting on top and the other hanging off. She looks into the still water in contemplation. My eyes follow hers, focusing in on the coins that have settled on the bottom of the fountain, though hard to see through the opaque ice. I stuff my hands in my pockets for warmth, feeling the skin of my knuckles start to split already. My fingers trace over the quarters I'd usually use in our lunchtime drinks. Achoo! The powerful sneeze draws me away from my meandering thoughts to see the Gator girl quiver on the cold concrete seat. Damn it. Her jaws clench tight, baring her sharp teeth to the world. Her nostrils flare with each of her breaths, the hot air creating a puff of visible mist. And her eyes are filled to the brim with a fiery rage and salty tears. I want to break the silence between us. Ask for her thoughts. She's deep within them, though. Raging within her own mind. Finally having the moment to process everything that's happened. In the end, it's Olivia that breaks the silence with a single, quiet, disdain-filled curse. Damn it! Her eyes shut, keeping her tears from falling. Damn it! A hiss seeps through her lips. I made it. I finally made, but... The thought goes unfinished. She lets her shoulders down and turns her gaze away from the spouting water. Listlessly gazing toward the obscured afternoon sun that's just managing to peek through the clouds and snow-covered trees. Maybe she's imagining that's where he is now. But what now? I withdraw my hand from my pocket, holding it open to see the pocket change in my palm. Scanning over the water feature before us, I think back to all the times I wanted to just do this with someone else. How about we make a wish? Olivia's brow furrows as she glances off to the side. Her fingers grip her hoodie, and I watch as she considers my suggestion thoroughly. Sure, a wish sounds nice right now. I motion her forward. The Gator girl holds out her hand to me, and I drop a quarter into her palm. On three? I nod in reply. 1, 2, 3. I wish for... Our twin coins flip in the air together. I watch as the coins spin skyward, crashing through the falling snowflakes. At their apex, the coins seem to pause, just to briefly touch one another. And with a synchronized plop, both the quarters hit the water together. Leaning forward, I see that the coins even landed on the same side. Heads. Wonder if that'll double our chances of making our wishes come true or something. I let out a huff in amusement from Olivia's comment. But the more I think about it, the more I hope it does. We stay there, looking at the fountain together in silence. For a moment, it feels as though time has stopped around us. It's just me and Olivia, experiencing the moment together. It almost makes me forget what had just transpired, what we were dealing with, what kind of future the two of us were looking at. For this moment, though, none of those dreadful thoughts mattered. What matters now is finding a small bit of peace, of solace, closure. A little bit of calm before the storm that was inevitably coming. A harsh wind chill finally brings Olivia and I out of our thoughts. Hey, I'm sorry for being super distant earlier. You don't have to apologize for that, Olivia. Everyone goes through those sorts of things differently. I know, but I just feel bad. I know I'm not the only one who's sad that Ayatakan is gone, but... Her pause makes me stop and turn around to face her. I can see it on her face that she's trying to form the right words. Ayatakan was the first person who I felt was a role model for me. He didn't just believe in me, he made me believe in myself. Not just for my art, but being able to succeed in general. I knew that Ayatakan meant a lot to her, but I never realized he meant that much to her. More than anything, he actually cared about me. About my thoughts and my dreams. I felt... Olivia's lips tremble as she struggles to voice the thought. Normal. God, I probably sound stupid saying that. I shake my head in disagreement. Not at all. You don't. Mr. Yatakan was important to me as well. It's okay, Olivia. I know how you feel. He gave me some of the best advice I've ever gotten from anyone, and encouraged me to follow my dreams, like you. I wish I had met him sooner. And there's a moment of silence between us, the air filled with a mix of sympathetic emotions. A shared sadness for the passing of someone who made an impact in both of our lives, but a sense of thankfulness that he graced our lives. I guess we both got our issues, huh? Yeah, I guess so. The fresh breeze of icy air sends a shudder down my spine. So, what do we do now? I pat off the growing pile of snow off my shoulders and head. Let's see. I look at my phone. School's ending in 10 minutes. Do you want to just chill here until then? Great choice of words, chill. Y'all are gonna freeze it up. No pun intended. I did! I intended it! Sure. I look around, noticing a tiny bench for two nestled against a tree. The Gator girl must have noticed, and she's already holding her arms out for me. I recall something. A certain pair of raptors. I kneel down, facing away from Olivia. I can feel the icy flakes melt off me as Olivia leans against me again. Her powerful arms wrap around my shoulders, clawed fingers digging into my jacket. My fingers lock together to form a makeshift seat for her behind me. With my passenger secured, I make a beeline for the bench. Lest I get caught up in whatever I feel pressing into my back. She lets herself drop onto the bench, uncaring for her landing. Taking a page from the Book of Olivia, I also drop uncaringly next to her, just glad to have some shelter from the increasing snowfall. So here we are. Mission accomplished for Olivia. Now what? My curiosity compels me to ask Olivia something. If you don't mind my asking, what did you wish for? I don't think you can tell someone what you wished for, or else it won't come true. The superstitious side of myself says that she has a fair point, so I decide not to push her any further on it. Just curious is all. We continue relaxing in comfortable silence. I mean, I don't mind telling you if you tell me yours. I guess that's only fair. What did I wish for just now? It's hard to put into words. It's not something specific, rather a feeling that I keep coming back to. Back before I came to this school, I would have wished for more friends or a successful future, or to take back something embarrassing from the past. But now that I think about it, I didn't need to make a wish. That's too vague. I know, but I don't know how else to put it. Come on, at least try. My best memories for the past few months? This. This? Being outside in the freezing cold? No, not that. What do you mean, then? I struggle to find the words without making myself sound stupid. Oh, you'll sound stupid regardless. Not everyone's gonna be a poet philosopher here. You're a high school dating sim. Just accept the cheese. You know, we've hung out a lot together, and it's not often that it's just the two of us. Just us? Yeah, that doesn't happen a lot. I wish it was more like that often. The Baryonyx's eyes go wide. Shoot, maybe that came across too weird. I mean, I just want to get closer to you, you know? I watched the beginnings of a blush form across Olivia's cheeks. Wait. I didn't mean it like that. I want to get to know you better. She glances away, laughing nervously as her tone changes drastically. Yeah, I understand. Totally. I breathe a silent sigh of relief. There you go. You want to know what I wished for? If you don't want to share, you don't have to. No, I asked for yours. It's only right. I wished to know what I want to wish for. There's the corn! There's the cheesy corn! I glance across the bench toward her. I can't make sense of anything right now. I want today to be over, frozen, and to have never happened all at once. And I get that. Definitely get that. I want a Yatakan back, but I don't want to just replace him with someone else. It's too late to start all over again. She stops to wipe her eyes, but they are already dry. All I've ever wanted was to be someone he would be proud of. Going back to my grandmother, that's exactly it. But it just feels impossible. Yeah. Personally, I'm not sure if that ever goes away. She looks away. I ended up picking something lame. Sorry. What's that? Olivia's still looking away, so while I can hear her hesitation, I can't tell what she's thinking. I threw that coin, and out of everything racing in my mind, the one thought that stuck out the most was just... She chews her lips in contemplation for a moment, and when she finally continues, her voice is a soft whisper. I want somebody I can trust. I feel my face heat up from her words and her tone. Even with her head turned, I notice a red flush creeping over Olivia's face, too. I instinctively jerk my head the other direction. Shoot, what do I do now? We're both sitting motionless, neither daring to say another word. If I listen closely, I feel like I can hear her heartbeat from here. She can probably hear mine as well. I don't even notice the cold anymore. Maybe we can just stay like this for a few weeks. Nah, don't be ridiculous. You need to tell her how you feel. Yes. I clear my throat, searching for words that wouldn't come. She just said she wanted somebody to trust. I mean, you can trust me. I hear shuffling from Olivia. Damn it, I can't work up the nerve to turn my head towards her. You say that, but your model says otherwise. My neck feels like a rusted hinge as I try to disobey my body and look at her through my periphery. Do you trust me? Despite my words, she nods her head vigorously, the blush growing dangerously bright. Well? I shift my body towards her on the bench. I trust you too. Suddenly, she shakes her head a bit to bring herself back to reality. Maybe I can be honest with you then. You're silly and you're ridiculous. Maybe a little over-optimistic. You're thoughtful and adventurous. You're so willing to just take me with you. You don't treat me any differently for this stupid thing. She lightly hits the armrest at the bench. I guess I stopped noticing it at some point. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously. You're like... So many words dance at the tip of my tongue. Like... My mouth and brain are at a standstill. One wanted to just blurt whatever while the other keeps it all in and disseminates it in a thoughtful manner. What comes out is... A furious snort rips from the Gator girl's nose, followed by peals of laughter. Out of embarrassed shame, I cover my face with my hands. Oh, brother. How's it been an hour and 20 minutes? What was that? I curse my nerves as I try to protest her continued guttural guffaws. Come on, Olivia, I'm really trying. The snowflakes that had managed to still land on me melt away from the extreme heat radiating from my whole head. The whole bald part of it. You mean that in a short or a long way? Oh, it felt like... I feel like it's... Like, how has it only been... No, what am I mean like it's been like a short hour and 20 minutes. You know, like the time is like flying by, kind of. Like a lot has happened. I'm paying attention to the time, and it's like all that happened in an hour and a half, and we took a little bit of a tangent to talk about personal things too. So yeah. Olivia acquiesces, though, drawing back into just a very smug grin. Okay, take two, Inko. My head's temperature finally drops from core of the sun to a more manageable volcano. Thanks, jerk. See that small quirk of her own lips. I can't stop a smile from growing on my face. I guess, be honest with her and yourself. Honest. At the very start, I thought you were just... out of it. What? You almost ran me over in the hallway. Oh. She frowns and looks away. Sorry. And then you tried to get my seat moved. Sorry. And the claw thing today? Not sorry about that. I figured. And you used to be hard to talk to. I felt awkward every time I'd even try. Like, thank Raptor Jesus for Damien and Liz, because otherwise I wouldn't have gotten to know the real you. Olivia wrings her clawed fingers together. And what do you think of the real me? She's easily the most caring person I've ever known. I mean, yeah, she can be a little selfish and doesn't think ahead sometimes. But when she cares for something, she just has to do everything she possibly can for whatever it is. Is that what you think? Yes, I think you're quite caring and passionate and and what? And I know Mr. Iatakan saw that in you too. Olivia's eyes water at the mention of our mentor. Thank you, Inko. Now's the time, Inko. Just say it. Hey, Inko. Say it, say it, say it, say it, say it. Do you like me? Yes? Why does talking have to be so hard? I prepare for Olivia's smug one-liner to crush my weak confession. Zit! Instead, I watch as Olivia brings her hood up and hides her eyes with it. Really? For some reason, seeing her like this fills me with a well of confidence. Yeah. Can I hear you say it? I like you, Olivia. I don't get how. Her hood peels away just enough so I can see her shimmering silver eyes. Why would you like someone like me? Well, I just said, I like you too. Olivia brings her legs to her chest, holding the limbs tightly to her. What was it, F? Nope, F is full screen. It was H. I wanted to see what the slippers were. I'm not so sure. Alright, well. We saw them. Olivia brings her legs to her chest, holding the limbs tightly to her. She brings her hoodie's hem over her legs. They're references to gondola. Okay. Because the only thing that's probably something that I've missed, because the only thing that it's going through my head is Pedo Bear, and I was like, that's wrong. That's gotta be wrong. Better just be weirder. You have no idea what that is, do you? Not a clue! And I have a distinct impression that I'm going to be getting a couple of images from you in very short order. Assuming you're still not blood bowling, that is. She brings her hoodie's hem over her legs, transforming herself into a crocodile-shaped igloo. An Olivia glue. Slippers was a bad idea. Oh crap, yeah. You okay? Fine. Just call someone. I cough awkwardly and get my phone out to call Liz. Hello? Inko, is that you? Aren't you supposed to be in class right now? Yeah, Scalar let Olivia and I out early. Oh, okay. I was told about Professor Yatakan. I hope you're doing okay. Yeah, I'm alright. I'm with Olivia by that old park by the school. Her chair's busted and we're kinda stuck. There's a keening whine for the bundled crocodile next to me, her tail wrapping around her as if to hug herself. Broke? In this weather? Are you two okay? We're fine. Can you come pick us up? Sure. I think I remember where that is. I'm with Principal Scalar right now. Once we're finished, I can get you two on the way home. Thanks. After some shuffling, the call drops. I turn back to Olivia. She seems more anxious than anything right now. Don't let me. Thought I heard something. You alright? Yeah. Why am I doing... Okay. Took me... Alright. I saw those things you sent me, memes. Yeah, I've never seen this before. I thought it was a different reference entirely. This is pretty, but this is adorable in its own way. I'll be okay. The stovepipe maw of the Olivia glue chatters quietly in the cold. My concern finally takes hold, forcing me to finally close the gap between us. She said the chair had no replacement. It'll take a while for a new one to come in. That means she'll be trapped at home, completely sealed off from the outside. Man. The beginning of Olivia's annoyed protests die of exposure become a grumbling acceptance as I wrap my arms around her shivering form. You're lucky you're warm, Inko. Yeah, I definitely feel like it, as her body shifts and nestles closer against me. Olivia's tail lays on my lap, the shivers reverberating through it the most. I lay my palm on top of it, feeling the cold limbs shaking slowly still. Some long-distance trivia about limbs losing heat the fastest springs to mind, and in the hopes of keeping frostbite away, I pet the heavy tail. And as I do, I hear the silliest sound rumbling from Olivia's chest and through the rest of her. Do alligators purr? There's a new sensation on my cheek now, soft and warm. Snoot kiss. She's, eh? Her lips are planted firmly on my cheek, and this feels nice. As I continue to warm her tail for her, I feel her warm lips press more and more against my cheek. I don't know if kisses are supposed to go this long and be this wet. And now the lips are moving, and there are some pointing things in there, and munch. And that's her teeth. That Olivia instinctively lets go of my cheek from her non-lethal bite. Oh, fuck, sorry. I'm new to this stuff. I'm nervous. It's okay, really. I put a hand on my cheek to feel the damage. I feel the indents of her fangs, but nothing serious. I almost even start falling asleep before we hear a car pull up to the bottom of the hill. Olivia perks up and leans forward to try to see who it is. Oh, believe me, you'll see the crane neck in a minute. A few seconds later, Liz's head rises above the stairs, scanning like a submarine periscope. Oh crap, it's gonna be tough getting all the way back down, even with Liz's help. I look back and smile at Olivia, still huddled against herself and clinging to my arm. Am I out of drink? But yes, I am. You ready? Today seemed to drag on endlessly. Liz's arrival had ended our embrace, and she had quite the dour look on her face. She said she had been in a meeting with the principal, and I could only imagine how the faculty and student council were reacting to Iadakan's passing. Her mood seemed to lift a little, at least, when she saw Olivia and I both huddled together beneath a tree. Olivia's mood, on the other hand, plummeted. Probably from the way Liz and I had to carry her to the car. The ride to the Payne household had been silent, save for Olivia's grumbling and embarrassment. Think I'd be in a similar mood if I was treated like a sack of potatoes, but then again, how else were we supposed to carry her? I should suggest more leg workouts to Coach Solly. Oh no. Just in case. Damien and Randy were waiting for us at the curb, the older man looking over Olivia with worry. When your friend told us, Soph and I were beside ourselves. I'm fine, Randy, just... Randy didn't really hear her. As the instant her car door was open, her legal guardian pulled her up onto the one hell of a bear hug. Come on, I'll get you kids some hot cocoa. I brought my own cup. Damien watched on with a smile of relief as his father hauled her over his shoulder and marched into his home. You guys want to stick around? Vinny's still in school, so we'll have the consoles to ourselves. It's still pretty early, all things considered. Sure, I love some hot chocolate right now. Liz? I'd like to, really, but the council still needs to prepare the arrangements for Yatakan's... Well, you know. Maybe I'll come by after if I can. Hey, all right. Well, if you do, I'll make sure there's some cocoa left. Appreciate it. With that, Liz drives off down the street. Come on, let's head inside before we turn into popsicles. Settling down at the well-worn couch, I notice a distinct lack of a baryonyx. Where's Olivia? Randy chimes in from the kitchen, busying himself with an old-fashioned kettle. She wanted rest on her bed for now, boys. Give her some time. No one can resist hot cocoa to weather like this, especially how I make it. Never had homebrewed hot chocolate, but if it's anything like his cooking, then it must be some good stuff. Here, here. After a few minutes, Randy comes out with a tray. Here you guys go. He passes around a few Christmas-themed mugs, labeled the family's names, and leaves the last one on top of a nearby drawer. Ooh, I get the Vinny one. You're gonna have to be Vinny for a bit. You cool with that? Yeah, thanks, Randy. Man, you look cold. Were you out there long? It's true. By now, the snow on my jacket's melted and my clothes are chilly and soaked. Feel free to take a load off until you warm up. I know I was trying to go for, like, a Hank Hill with this, but it's not really hitting, is it? I'll be in my bedroom resting. Holler if you need anything else. He gives Damien a pat in the back and leaves. The mug is hot to touch, but it's a welcoming feeling to warm up my icy fingers. I take a moment to gently blow air on the beverage to cool it down before moving it to my lips. Yeah, it's pretty good. Damien is chugging his. He finishes the swig and sets the glass down. That must have been half of it in one go. Well, there are multiple ways to enjoy anything, and if you're this kind of a dinosaur that can spit acid, I highly doubt boiling liquid's that much of a deterrent to you. After today's events and weather, I really needed this. Hey, a good drink makes things a lot better. I had a hell of a terrible Blood Bowl game. Made myself another thing in my cider. Helped a lot. Another sip. It really is helping me warm up. I didn't even notice how cold I was. I don't even want to think how cold Olivia was. Or is. Hey, Vinny! Yeah? You good? I'm holding it together, yeah. Still a bit scattered. I don't blame you. Hey, Pops doesn't want you venturing back into the tundra out there. You up for a game or something? He gestures to the entertainment setup. No, but go ahead. I'll watch. Damien thinks for a second, the few gears in his head turning in conflict. Really, I don't mind. All right, I'll get set up. Damien sets his game up, searching several mismatched cases for the right CD and giving the screen a good thump to get it to work properly. Grabbing the controller, he turns on the Xrox One, selecting something called Rock Ring ODHG, and settles deep into his groove on the couch. Oh, good old Rock Ring! This was my favorite in the series. ODST is anybody's favorite? Halo? I suppose it's probably better than 5. After a minute or two of gathering a full lobby, the Dilophospino Dino picks his class and begins his virtual rampage. Only a minute in and he manages to get the first kill. I'm just a bit burnt out for the day. Getting pretty tired, actually. Hey, Inko. Yeah? Olivia didn't come back with her wheelchair. Did something happen? Yeah, she isn't taking Yatakan's passing well. Well, I'm glad you were there for her. My eyes remain on the screen, lost in the vibrant violence as some in-game announcer proclaims Damien's digital massacre. On his part, Damien's frills wavered like crazy, and it looked as if his arms also wanted to wave in victory. You want to talk about it? I don't want to take up your time, Damien. Come on, man. We've known each other for a while. You can be honest with me. Not sure where to begin, really. The Attican was really cool. I don't really have the right words for it. Somehow I think I'm unqualified to speak on it, compared to Olivia. She knew him better than I ever did. He was important to her, yeah. We talked about it for a bit and before Liz picked us up, but I'm worried I'm not much help. Well, that's what we're here for, right? To help her out in any way we can. Best thing to do is be ourselves for her, and she'll eventually go through the motions her own way. Yeah, that makes a surprising amount of sense. The dude abides, man! I slowly look up from my mug over to Damien. And you make it sound so easy, too. He briefly meets my gaze before returning his attention to the screen. I know I'm not the smartest guy around. Into the Gator pit with you. Thanks, memes. But I do know Olivia. We don't share parents, but she's still my older sister. Older sister? Her birthday is first, duh. And knowing Olivia, she'll be able to manage. But how are you managing? Me? Trying to sort the maelstrom of emotions running rampant in my head is overwhelmed, I guess. I wish I'd gotten to learn more from him. Olivia could probably recite some of his lessons by heart. She probably could. I remember the first time she got to work with some special paints in his class. She was just ecstatic. She came home a mess, all covered with blues and greens and leaving tracks behind wherever she went. When Mom saw her carpet vandalized, she threw her right in the backyard and hosed her off. I ended up joining in because it looked fun. In the hallway leading to her room, a part of me wants to see if she's alright. That part simply wants to be closer to her again. Damien looks back again, the unspoken question clearly written across his arched brows. What about Olivia and you? Speaking of, I may have told Olivia that I liked her. About time. Huh? What? You two stuck together like glue ever since the summer barbecue. I mean, come on now, anyone would have a brain could see that you were becoming more than friends. All the signs were there. There was actually another story around here. Like, some old friends of ours, like old-time friends that we've known for a long time. They were sweeting each other for the longest time, too. When they finally got engaged, you almost could have heard the entire county say as one, about time! That's exactly just how ubiquitous those two people were for one another. Now they've got 5 kids. Although it does worry me a little. Why's that? Well, think about it. Your teacher just passed away. You're both wrecks right now. What if it's just that suspension bridge thing? I don't know, man. It only just happened. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. I do like Olivia. I know that. I guess I'm a little scared of the future. How so? Just a bunch of things I still don't get about Olivia. Or maybe friendship in general. Ooh, excuse me. When I first arrived at St. Hammond, I never really had any friends like you guys. So to suddenly be involved in all of this, I don't know. I think I get it, yeah. Things can be a little dramatic around here. One way to put it. What's so different about your old friends? Never really had any. No, that's not true. I had friends, but they were like day friends, you know? Classmate friends, yeah, I got a bunch. And your folks constantly moving means they only ever last like a year tops? Yeah. Am I a day friend? No way! You come to our parties and everything. In fact, look. He points to the subtle discolored patch on my jeans where Vinny's acid punch had failed to completely wash off. We got you marked. Thanks. It means more than you know. To be honest, I always had a good feeling about you. Thought you'd be a decent addition to the group, but to see Olivia actually start opening up around you 2 months ago, that was unthinkable. All those years I was trying alone, you know? Made it all worthwhile. Not to take credit or anything, I'm just really glad to see her happy after so long. Moments of Olivia and I together flash into my head. Good, bad, and everything in between. It all culminates into a single image of her staring up at me with that smile of hers. Me too. Hard to believe that she'd been dealing with so much inside when I first met her. Well, Inko, some people just have a lot of problems they hide from the world. For example... He puts the controller down and shifts to look me in the eye. His character is instantly sniped. That hot chocolate gave me a tummy ache. I'm being serious. That was serious. It can be little things like that. Little stresses that add up. Now, it doesn't bother me, but someone else? It might just about ruin them. If you're trying to get with Olivia, I'll give you a nickel's worth of advice my dad told me. If a girl you like asks to wear your shirt at 2 a.m. and to bake cookies, she's an absolute keeper. Girl you like asks to wear your shirt at 2 a.m. and bake cookies. If she's baking the... if she's asking me to wear my shirt and bake her cookies... that might be a little much, but if we're going to go bake cookies together, that'd be a different matter entirely. There are interpretations here that are absolutely correct. That's some pretty good advice. No, it's her that's baking it. Well, there you go. That is the prime thing. Sure, have my shirt to go bake cookies in. That's perfectly fine. Definitely the case, then. Just don't break her heart, yeah? Wouldn't dare to think of it. Damien offers me a fist bump, to which I happily reciprocate. A door creaks open. Both our heads turn back at the sound. She kneels in the doorway to her room, leaning against the side railing. Damien nods to me and continues his game. The ambient gunfire and controller clicking fills the silence. I take the hint and stand up, slowly approaching Olivia as she tries to shuffle down the hallway. She's completely upright in a display of pure confidence. Even her tail is upright as if to amplify her dignity. I'll have to tell her how cute that is when I'm not so drained. I wordlessly offer her a hand and she accepts. I think this is the first secondary costume we've seen Olivia in. I mean, not that anybody else hardly ever gets... Well, no. Incorrect. We did see her in a swimsuit back in the barbecue scene. But this is, I think, the first time we've seen her outside of the sweater. Otherwise. With her on my shoulder, I walk the both of us toward the living room couch and plop down on it with her. Oh, here. I lean forward to grab her cocoa from the coffee table. Most of the warmth is gone by now. Guess I can go warm it up in the microwave for her. She's gonna down it in one go. She's tugging my arm. Come on, it's cold. She starts leaning harder against me to keep me from getting up all the way. All right, jeez. I give her the mug and she goes to start sipping instantly. I was going to warm, my voice dies as I feel her settle against my legs with a relaxed hum. Her body relaxes more and I'm allowed to sit up enough for her to settle in by my shoulder. She's warm. The two of us watch Damien's game continue. Now this would be a great time for a game of Mario Party. What do you think? Of course, I just like playing Mario Party. Olivia continues sipping down her drink, letting one hand free from the mug. Her hand finds its way to mine, and our fingers curl around each other's. Damien plays a few more games. I don't really keep track of how well he does. You can do a pitch-perfect Waluigi voice. Waluigi time! You can probably do better than me, but I'm just having fun now. Besides, 9 times out of 10, if I'm playing, I'm gonna pick Boo. He finishes one last match and yawns, stretching back over the couch. Alright, that's probably enough for me. I'm gonna get going, give you two some space. Okay. Damien gets up from the couch and slides his controller near the cabinet where it lied before. On his way out, he stops to look right into my eyes. Hey, keep things chill, man. Don't do anything stupid, alright? Yeah. He nods and heads off to the depths of the house. And just like that, it's quiet once more. Is she asleep?
There.
Ooh, excuse me. Hey. I, don't think you've seen my room before, have you? Not at all. Would you want to see? I'd love to. I watch her blush. Am I getting good at this? Okay, just walk me there. Similar to before, I help Olivia off the couch and we shuffle our way in towards her room. Actually, okay, yep, nope, more like just regular pants. Not sure what I was expecting, but sure. It's night. I'm not sure what I was expecting Olivia's room to look like, but I'm surprised. It's the air that hits me first. A strange mix of a heavy fake floral candle trying its best to cover up the almost nostalgic scent of art supplies. That's a room you can smell, all right. The little plushies. I'm gonna bet that's the little plushy snake thing as well, but it could be almost any... I was looking for that. Among Us. Fucking hell, you're right. Band posters and paintings of dinosaurs cover a lot of her wall space, like the room is her own personal canvas. Her desk sat beneath the window. Again, what space that wasn't covered by the faded-looking paper was instead covered in dried-up paints. Right next to that, a dresser holding up a decades-old television and retro gaming consoles. Good taste. And of course, there's Guts' little cage. All in all, it reminds me of the rooms they'd show in older high school movies. So, where do you want? Just on the floor is fine. I gently lower Olivia to the floor, letting myself sit cross-legged next to her in the process. So, what do you think? I think it suits you. Figured you wouldn't have any chairs. I got this really soft rug and a beanbag chair over there. She gestures to a beat-up lump in the corner near a large lamp. Olivia pulls something off her bed. It's a laptop, open to a music program. But I don't recognize any of these songs, or bands, or albums. That's a pretty big track list. What music do you listen to? I'm sort of a closeted metalhead. Whenever I'm alone, I put on some at full blast while I do chores or art. Generates Her Head, Superdeath, Iron Tomb, you name it. What do you listen to? 1970s to 80s classic rock, golden oldies, video game stuff if I can find it. Oh, and bluegrass.
Oh, terrific, terrific, wonderful.
Please let us get in. Don't lock us away.
Here, some kind of
Mumble rap.
critic?
I
Nah,
listen
he's
to
just
mumble rap.
unemployed.
You should go to work. Try to make something of yourself.
If that scratches your brain, then.
Guacamole.
Anyway, my dad was super into heavy metal when I was a kid, and he got me into it. When Damien and I would be playing out in our yard and his mom would be making lunch, our dads would be in the garage, blasting heavy metal while they worked on the car. Working on cars? Yep. My dad and Uncle Randy would Randy would fix up some cars. She clears her throat. Huh. I think this is the first time I've heard you call him Uncle Randy. Yeah, I call him that sometimes, along with Auntie Sophia. You call him Auntie Sophia? Your right hand comes off? What do you... Olivia lunged to chomp at my hand, and I had to take a moment to check my fingers, just in case. Completely missed that heckle. Hey, I was joking! So was I. But yeah, I listened to a lot of this. You want to hear any? She offers me a trackpad. Anything I see, huh? Say, what kind of music is B flat? Music is a bit lame, actually. Wait here, there's actually something else. Something else? Something nobody else gets to see. I'm gonna show you my chest. Excuse me? I know exactly what you're talking about, and it's still no less exciting, but, excuse me? Here it is, look. Olivia holds out a small wooden box. There are 2 rusted metal latches that have long since aged past their use. I can't see it quite well in the dim lighting, but I think if I were to hold it up to the sunlight, I'd see a thin layer of glitter glue coating the whole thing. It's also been painted carefully, with very thoughtful attention to tones. What could even be inside? Honestly, no guesses come to mind. Could be anything. What are you waiting for? Open it. I carefully open the lid. Inside is Olivia's chest. Yeah, it is. Some marbles, a paintbrush, a lighter, some rocks, some teeth that presumably have fallen out of hers. I mean, the box is filled with various baubles and trinkets. What is all this? It's like my own little hoard. I've been saving up lots of little things through the years. Nobody else has ever seen it. She holds out the box for me to take. It's heavier than it looks. This must be some high-quality material. With the box in my hand, I sit on the end of the bed. Olivia manages to crawl her way up to sit beside me. She reaches inside to grab... I'm not getting any highlights, so... It's a picture of Olivia's chest. I mean of Olivia at the shore. Alright. This was from last summer. Dad had a weekend off, and we all went swimming together at the beach. The sun was just setting and decided to take a picture since it was a nice view. Plus, I felt pretty. Maybe, we could go together sometime. Maybe, yeah. She places the photo back in the box. Alright, a paintbrush? A very important paintbrush. Olivia's lips turn upward slowly as each brush will blush away from her thumb. Though she averts her eyes away from mine, I can see the green of her scaly cheeks turn red. Sorry, just got sentimental for a moment. This was the first brush I ever had. Dad gave it to me on my 5th birthday. Her tone falters lightly. Dad always asked me to make him little drawings. And every time I finished one and gave it to him, he'd tell me it looked amazing. I could barely draw a circle back then, but he'd still gush over them and... She shakes her head. I think he put them in some scrapbook. I don't know, but he'd kept them all. Olivia's looked back at me, her embarrassment turning into bashfulness. Thanks. Alright, I am actually kind of curious with this lighter. Oh, this used to be Uncle Randy's. Does the engraving mean anything? She shakes her head with a soft smile. Not really. He said it's harder to steal and hide stuff that looks unique. Really, I think he thought it looked cool and not tacky. Well, I think it looks cool. Certainly does. You would. Actually, on that note, I do, in fact, have a lighter on my desk. I don't smoke. And I'm actually going to, this is personally engraved. This was actually my uncle's. My uncle who served in the Screaming Eagles 101st Airborne in Vietnam. 2 tours. It's actually my dad's eldest brother. So I can definitely understand the keeping of a lighter like that. I mean, admittedly, like, with very different reasons. All right, let's see. What is it? This the polished rock, rocks in general. Oh, hey. Whoa, some of these look really cool. Of course they do. I picked all these out myself. Where'd you get these? I pick one up whenever I see one. They're a dime a dozen. Here's some rocks. Is this a Bakugan? It's a Bakugan. Oh, I love this little guy. What's that? Let me show you. Olivia rummages through the box and plucks out a tiny hexagon piece. She then places the plastic ball onto it, and right before my eyes, it transforms into this little robotic-looking dinosaur. It's a fucking Bakugan. Oh. This is a Gabukan. Dinoid, to be exact. I was hooked on the show when I was younger, and always asking you to get the toys for my birthday and Christmas. I suppose it had to be somebody's favorite show, Bakugan. Vinny's got the rest of my old collection. This one was always my favorite, so I keep it here. Oh, what are these? Just a couple of cool rocks I found around. I liked how they looked, and so I kept them. I grabbed one of the rocks to give it a closer look. It's gray with thin brown lines all around it and smooth to the touch. It'd be a perfect skipping stone. That one's my favorite. Tastes like salt. How do you know that? I tasted it. Alright. And now we get to find out about her baby teeth. And what's this? That's my first tooth. Wow, never seen baby dino teeth up close before. It's so tiny and sharp. What's that one? That's my 58th tooth. Your teeth grow back? Yours don't? No. Humans. Minutes go by as Olivia continues showing off her personal little hoard. All tiny objects that Olivia's chosen to keep with her this whole time, eagerly explaining the significance of every little piece of her that she's got locked away in here. By the time we're done, she's resting her muzzle on my shoulder. It's been a crazy long day. I'm pretty exhausted myself. Can you... I'll put this back on the dresser there? Sure. I gently move her off my shoulder, much to her muffled groans of protest. Hey, you asked him! Then I carefully place the box back where it was on the dresser. A small friend pokes his nose curiously through the bars of his cage. Hey, little guy, long time no see. Were you napping? The black and white Murid replies with a series of squeaks. I like to think he's saying that he's glad to see me. Hey, Olivia. Aw, I'm pretty exhausted too. Bed's definitely off limits. It leaves either the floor or the couch outside. Or... that beanbag chair looks pretty inviting right now. Let me slump into it, the beads inside scrunching under my weight as I settle in. It's soft. It smells a bit like paint and Olivia's hair. Does Olivia lay on this while she works? As I start to drift off, the last thing my weary eyes take notice of is Olivia sleeping soundly on her bed. With how emotionally draining this whole day has been for us, it's nice to see her looking so peaceful. The safer move would have been the couch, but sure, at least this is not the bed. I gotta do something better with my hands. I begin to stir from my deep, cushiony slumber. It feels like there's something heavy across my stomach, stopping any ability to move. Here's hoping it's a cat. Here's hoping it's the cat. Did somebody throw a weighted blanket on me? Actually, it feels like whatever's on me is vibrating. What is it? Olivia? She's on me. My entire head grows hot as my brain tries to process the situation. How we're, as she's... It is right there, isn't it? Her chest pressing close to mine, I can feel her rhythmic breathing against my body. It's deep, slow, and with a subtle but noticeable rumble with each exhale. I focused hard enough, I could probably feel her heartbeat. Maybe she sleep-crawled into the beanbag chair and didn't realize I was on it? I should probably wake her up so she can get back to her bed. Anytime I try to move, her limbs cling tighter on my body like a boa constrictor. With all but Olivia's tail wrapped around me, any attempt of escaping her hold is fruitless. Olivia looks even more peaceful than she did on the bed. Maybe she does know that I'm here. I'll leave her be. Ooh, risky. We like to live dangerously, don't we? We have a Hank Hill variety father in this case, and this last thing I want to do is make her a cranky gator. Ooh, buddy. With my free hand, I managed to grab my phone. Checking the time, the digital clock says it's only 5 minutes past 4:30. Plenty of time to continue my nap. I nestle my head back in the beanbag and let the feeling of Olivia's rumbling lull me back to sleep. This feels nice. My morning alarm lulls me from my sleep and into the world of the living. I ended up spending the night at Olivia's place. Randy and Sophia thought my parents would actually be worried that I stayed with strangers for the night. When my folks hadn't answered their phones, Sophia was left fuming. Randy didn't look bothered, though, and the two calmed down after I made something up about a business trip. Honestly, I'm probably right anyway. On the upside, I got to spend the night with Olivia. Last night, we even turned the living room into some kind of blanket and pillow fort. It felt childish to huddle up on the floor with Olivia and watch her play old computer games on the outdated TV, but I had more fun than I'd like to admit. But now that Fridays rolled around, it was time for school. Olivia's wheelchair's out of commission until Randy could go get a replacement, meaning she'd have to miss out today. Given the state of both her emotions and wheelchair, it pained me to have to go without her and leave her all alone. Honestly, I don't want to be alone in my cold and empty house either. Miss Sophia is one hell of a cook. Last night she made a delicious meatloaf. Nothing wrong with a good meatloaf. Guess I know now who Olivia got her culinary skills from. I roused to the couch, pulling the spare blanket off of me. The pains let me sleep on the couch, but at some point Olivia must have dragged herself from her room to join me. As I try my best to get up without waking her, I pull out my phone to check the time. It's about the same time I normally wake up. I'm kind of impressed with my own internal clock. You awake, son? I jump as Randy makes his presence known behind me. His hands idly button up a floral shirt as he motions ahead towards the unconscious Gator lying on the couch. Guessing he has the early shift. She wasn't there when I went to sleep. Don't worry, I'm not accusing you. Damien's already up and the kitchen's got cereal. Don't be late for school. I nod in response, taking a few moments to put my jacket and glasses on before heading to the kitchen. Even if I didn't remember where it was, it wouldn't be hard to find. Damien's busy slurping honeyed oats like a jet engine. Oh, Inko, you hungry? Before I even reply, the Dilophosaurus jumps out of the chair and makes for a nearby cabinet, procuring another bowl and spoon, which he slides across the table. Thanks? Most important meal of the day, man. Eat up. He gestures to the half-gallon of milk and box of cereal on the table. I take a seat across from Damien and pour myself a bowl. Normally, I'd skip breakfast on account of getting an upset stomach during PE. Then again, that could be my PTSD with the burritos talking. With spoon in hand, I get a scoop of cereal and begin eating. You know, as far as cereals go, it's a little bland. If I had to guess, they'd probably avoid any of the colorful sugar-filled cereals to prevent Vinny from bouncing off the walls. Very fair, very safe. More than it usually does, at least. I continue enjoying my bowl of cereal, with less ferocious haste than Damien. It's not long before we're both done, and Damien stands up without any intent of cleaning up after himself. Liz should be getting here any minute now, so we can wait outside. Sounds good. I take the time to rinse off our dishware in the sink before anything else. Damien looks a little guilty as he realizes what I'm doing. Finally, with breakfast dealt with, we get ready to head outside into the cold, harsh world. As I grab my backpack by the couch, I take one more glance at my slumbering girlfriend. She's taken up the entirety of the couch now, the blanket we shared falling away as she spreads out into the spot I was just at. Should I give her a kiss goodbye? Or maybe fix the blanket for her? Alright, you've just about hit the deviation point, won't finish whatever ending, get in the remaining 15 minutes, so it's up to you if you want to stop in the middle or stop early. Is this... This can't possibly be the last, just be safe. I'm gonna... No, don't load. Save. This isn't the last... This isn't the final load-bearing question, then, is it? Because... Already passed the last one. Alright. Okay, so everything now is just gravy. Alright, that's fine. I'm actually okay with knowing that. Makes me feel better about actually getting to the end at some point. But if we're not going to be able to get to the end, and honestly, I don't want to hit the middle and stop on a weird cliffhanger. So here's what I'm going to do. Since I saved it here for posterity, why don't we leave it off here? I know it's only been 2 hours, but like you said, if we're not going to be able to get to the ending in 50 minutes, then it probably would be better to do that. If we just want to actually do that. So I think yeah. Man, I really want to ask how good I've fucking done, but there's a nagging part of me that I'm thinking, I'm getting the bad ending. I don't know how I'm getting the bad ending, but trying to do the math on what ending you got. Do you remember if I took the key or not? No, I definitely did not. No, I did not take the key. I definitely did not do that. I encouraged her to make the decision. I did not take it away from her. Alrighty. Now I know you're not going to answer the question, so I'm not even going to ask. But even just this talking about it vague is making me worried. even if it's supposedly like, fucking hell, I need to just drink some more something or other. Otherwise, I'm just gonna have something in my cup. All of this vagary is just making me even more anxious about this for next week. Like, I don't believe we're going to be dealing with another situation like Snoot's bad ending, but honestly, I don't want to, like, after Snoot, I don't think anything's necessarily off the table. Even though, like, no, yeah. It would make a pretty interesting drive-by with a wheelchair, wouldn't it? What a phrase. Wheelchair drive-by. Oh, I saw him. It was the terrorist. It was a drive-by fruiting. That's a good movie. Death roll is an obvious pun here. Also true. Why am I being... Like, oh, for fuck's sake. I've got the... Why am I so worried about the YouTube algorithm? I barely have this stuff monetized anyway. I sure as hell don't mark these as suitable for kids, that's for certain. At any rate. Well... Although that being said, if you know, I'm fairly certain you know, memes, you've been the one to tell me more about those references, but do you know the movie I'm referencing there? It's like I said, I really do, it's one of those, weirder favorite ones. You watch very few movies. Okay. The movie I'm referencing is I don't even remember what year it was. It's a Robin Williams movie, Mrs. Doubtfire. It's a Robin Williams movie. It's funny. But again, a lot like a lot of Robin Williams movies, it deals with some pretty heavy subject material. Yeah, I heard of that many a time. Yeah. I mean, it is a hoot and a half. But it's just a good one. It just really is a good one. And there literally is a line in there that talks about a drive-by fruiting. Oh boy, it's... Alright, well... let's turn the comp background music on. Okay. Well, if we're going to close off early because we don't want to stop this in the middle of a thing, then yeah, may as well do that. I am intrigued to see where this is going to end up. I am also deeply fearful of something that I think is going to happen. And I only have myself to blame for the image that's in my head. Because I was looking for some other things to make thumbnails with. And saw a scene that made me cringe really hard. More so even than the theme might suggest I would do. I don't want to say it. I may have on something, but it's nothing necessarily story related. There is a dress? All right, fine. There is Ben in a dress.
Well, that was different.
Yep, lousy, but different.
Like I said, I didn't like the moment the moment I got a moment of visual word association, for lack of a better phrase, I stopped looking immediately I stopped Googling and went back to pulling stuff out of the gallery in game. But it's been in my head this whole time. A lot of the fan base likes Twink Ben and stuffed him into a dress, usually Naomi's dress from Snoot Game. But that's fan made. Okay, so what I saw was Mayor. So what you're saying is that that's not in the game then. That's just some random somebody doing a funny. If I find out that that's actually in the game, I'm probably going to crash out. There is no cross-dressing Ben, no. Okay, thank fuck. But I did see Ben wearing Naomi's dress from Snoot Game, yes. That is exactly what I saw, and I'm glad it's not in here. Because, holy fuck, I could believe that it would be. I really could believe that it would be. And again, oh, you, how much do you trust me, really? You probably don't want my answer to that question. Oh, boy. I suppose we'll all just have to find out later, won't we, when the inevitable prom scene happens. But alright. With that, I guess there's nothing else left other than to say we'll see you next week then. And judging from the sounds of it, we're actually going to hit an ending. Finally. Admittedly, we're ending about a half hour early. But, yeah, maybe. Now I'm definitely not trusting you. Still a fifth of the way through. Yeah. Fifth of the way through. Oh, boy. All right. Well, then. Maybe we'll get through... We'll eventually get through these last 4/5 of the game, I'm sure. All right. Well, until then... I guess we've got what we've happened. And, boy, a lot happened. It was... I know I made the joke in my little blurby that when it rained, it poured, but I wasn't expecting it to dump again like that. Oh boy. Alright, well, I suppose we just have to come back next week, next Thursday, and see what happens. Plenty of things. And I suppose that we'll find out when we find out. And with that being said, again, thanks, Memes, for the recommendation. It's still enjoyable. I'm still enjoying this. And I can't wait to see what the end is going to end up being. Well, before you go, alright, you caught me. My hand was on the buttons and everything. What's up? What did you think of Yatakan's death? A little bit out of left field, honestly. I'm not going to say it's completely nonsensical, because it does make sense. I mean, utilizing the way he was acting at the end of that one scene would indicate that there was like a resignation in his character. Like this was the last time you were actually going to see him do something, so it kind of had to be like this big event. I was honestly more expecting him to end, like I said before, he was going to end up being like, I don't know, some actual like old-time villain or something like that. Song that played when he cut the painting was also called One Last Favor. Okay. Might have to check that out, because you do have the playlist somewhere, I'm sure. it was like it absolutely is one of those. I absolutely see it as being a it was a very good gut punch. Don't get me wrong. It properly came out as a surprise. You didn't necessarily expect it. It was built up pretty well, though, over the course of that day. Sort of building slowly. You could feel the writing, the tension, the characters, and the slow calling up of other characters and other students was a very good way of indicating that something was very much amiss. I would not have called that Iatakan had just died. But I will give. There was one other movie that I don't know if anyone else has seen. I want to say it was I don't know if it was a Disney Channel movie, but it was again something on that similar sort of vein. School there's a school, a high school or whatever, middle school or something. New teacher comes in, does all sorts of weird and interesting things to actually make kids interested in learning. Has a knock-on effect of sending ripples throughout the entire school, forcing old curmudgeon teachers to do a little bit more of changing things to try that same sort of engagement type learning. And you eventually learn that the new teacher has got lung cancer. He doesn't die at the end of the film, but they do make it a point of having this is very much juxtaposing this was the school then, this is it now, and this is it after the whole reveal. And it definitely was something that I thought about when we were going through that part of the story. I don't remember the name. I could not tell you anything of the movie beyond that, which is surprising considering I can tell you details about movies I haven't seen for 25 years. But I've also only seen this one once, so yeah. At any rate, it was a very interesting scene. It was I think it was reasonably well done. It was very well done. I'm not going to say a masterpiece, but it was a very good, very powerful scene with some great storytelling. The writers should be proud of what they did. But of course, I say this as if I'm some variety of expert on writing. I'm not. I'm just some jackanapes on the internet with a YouTube channel. But like I said, it's been enjoyable. Situations being the game being what they are, it's still been enjoyable. I hope that answers your question. Mostly agree, felt a bit of a cheap at the time, and it still does kind of, but I get the whole these things aren't usually expected. You're right. It did feel a little bit cheap and unearned right there at the beginning. And it was this is so far out of left field, and it really kind of is. But it doesn't not have impact. And they did why am I grabbing my paintbrush? But yet no. It probably would have been better. It would have been a far better reveal, and far less feeling of being general shock value, if they had actually hinted at something before. And maybe I did, and maybe they did, and maybe I missed it. It's entirely possible. But excuse me for not wanting to comb through every line of dialogue again right now to find it. But yeah. Like I said, it could have been handled better. Certainly wasn't a masterpiece, but it was done well enough that it got its purpose across. At any rate, well, was subtle. Biggest bits was a yet again saying a few lines about people acting like they have all the time in the world. Very true. Very true. Alright. Well, honestly, I think with that, not much to do other than, well, unless we want to keep chatting for 30 minutes, in which case, why? You like jazz? Alright, I'm going to end the stream before we get into any more stupider memes and movie references, because I am not a...
Poor fellow lost his nose.
How will he smell without it?
Same as always. Terrible.
I am not about to go down the rabbit hole of the B movie. So before I lose my mind, again, memes, thank you for hanging around and watching this and just listening to me prattle on in my own weird way. She fucked the bee. Yep, it's hip to fuck bees! Thank you all for hanging around, chatting, being all around cool dudes. I will see you all in the next one. Okay, goodbye!
Why do we always come here?
I guess we'll never know.
It's like a kind of torture
To have to watch the show.